Hey Inklets, it's Adele from Let's Get Inky, and today I've got another journal with me session. So this is number 3, and in the last one you would have seen the page just there with the girl with the orange jacket on. And so I'm doing this in my traveler's notebook. If you're not sure what a traveler's notebook is, have a look at my essentials video where I go through all of my essential supplies for a traveler's notebook, and it's kind of like a diary. That's what I'm using it as. But a traveler's notebook essentially is just a cover, and you slip all different notebooks inside it. So the first thing I like to do when I do these journal with me pages is I pick a couple of pictures that tickle my fancy. So it could be things to do with, and you can see here, this is a cardboard piece and I just split a couple of layers so that it wasn't so thick. But the pictures could be something to do with that day. It could be something that I just think's pretty, or just some pictures and stickers and things that go well together. So both of those images are from a Frankie magazine, an older magazine that I cut up. I've got some Jane Davenport washi tape strips here that I'm using, and they were new at this point, and I freaking love them so much. So I did use a fair bit of them in these few pages. This little set of stamps, they're little stickers that I got ages ago from, I think it was from eBay. They were very cheap too, which was nice. But I just find all these little bits. So some of these, that little swan is from a 6x6 paper pad, a scrapbooking paper pad that I cut up. But this is a great project if you have all of these little pretty bits and pieces that you don't really know what to do with. This is a great way to actually put a use to them, because I don't know about you guys, but I like to collect pretty things, but I have a problem with hoarding them. And I often just keep them and don't want to use them on a project, but this actually gives them a purpose, and I find that there's no point just having them sit in a box in your craft room because you can't look at them that way. I'd rather put them in here and have them make me happy. So I'm just doing a bit of doodling here, just some little free drawing of some flowers. I was thinking, I had this idea. I do have an Etsy store, which I don't really have anything in at the moment, but I was thinking of doing some like printable kind of things, like doodles and stuff. So let me know in the comments if you like that. I was thinking of turning some of these flowers into like little stickers or something that you could print off, or that I could print and ship out. Let me know if you like that idea. It was just one of those 4 o'clock in the morning ideas that you get in the middle of the night when you're meant to be sleeping and you just think of something. It was one of those. So I'm just adding the day and the date, and that is something that I am keeping consistent throughout the entire journal, the way that I write the day and the date. I just think that every page is so busy and different, it's nice to have one thing consistent throughout the whole thing. So I think I pause it. Do I pause it and do some journaling? No, I just journal. So I'm using my Copic Multiliner 0.1, I think. Yes. And it's just a basic felt tip really. I just really like to use a thin nib on my felt tips when I'm working. It makes it easier to do scripty font as well, like this. This was a hot time. It's a heat wave today as well. I think today it's about 39 degrees today. Celsius, that is, not Fahrenheit. But we have had quite a few hot days, but I'm excited because it's meant to thunderstorm tomorrow and only be 24, which is much, much more up my alley. So I'm just adding journaling, and I like to put the pictures on first because then I can just squeeze the journaling around, and I try to make it so that there's little pockets where I can journal. So it kind of breaks up the different sections. I'm using my hands here, of course, but you can't see them, but it breaks up the page into little sections, and I just find that it's pleasing on the eye when there's not like a giant chunk of writing. Let me know if you feel the same way. So I'm just adding some little spots and dots and little sprinkles here and there, and I like to doodle on top of the photos. I said this in the last journal with me as well. I like to doodle on top and right on top of the pictures because it just kind of makes it a bit more cohesive and seamless, so that it doesn't just look like I've plonked a whole lot of paper embellishments on a page. And I will in a moment grab my watercolors, which is exciting. I'm using the Jane Davenport watercolors, which I love, and I'm sharing them with my husband. If you want to see how he's using his watercolors, you can head over to his channel, Inky Beard. He does journaling and painting and all sorts of things over there. So I'm grabbing an aqua brush, which is not yet Adele. Soon I'm grabbing an aqua brush. I will be grabbing an aqua brush, which you can just use a normal paintbrush, but the reason why I like an aqua brush is that it holds the water inside the paintbrush, so you don't need to have a separate jar or bowl of water to activate the watercolors. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So this fun needed a little bit of extra something, so I just did some little dashed lines around it, and the colour coordinates well with the previous page, so I liked how that worked in. So this is the neutrals palette, and then the one below is the brights. Just grabbing a little piece of paper towel because I like to soak up some of the colour just so that it's not so wet. And I'm just jumping straight in here. So let me know, do you like to watercolor in your Traveler's Notebook inserts or Fauxbonichi or Hobonichi? I get really influenced by Sailor Mimsy on YouTube. Her Hobonichi is just incredible. It's so beautiful. And so she's the one that kind of inspired me to actually bite the bullet and try watercolors inside my notebook instead of just on a art journal page or a scrapbook page. And I really do like it, but I recommend what I did is that I got the good thing about these inserts is they're stapled together. So I was able to tear out the middle page from this insert, and I did some experimenting first to see how the paint reacted on the paper, and I really recommend, if you can do that first, give it a go. So the colours that I picked were colours that kind of matched in with the scheme of both pages, and even though the pages are from separate days, I do kind of want them to be pleasing on the eye together, if that makes sense. I don't want one of them to be black and dark and wah, and then the next one be pink and yellow and girly. I'd like to have them kind of coordinating a little bit. So here's a bit of a close-up look, and please let me know if you'd like to see more of these journal with me's. I'll probably won't do one for another few weeks. I've got some other videos scheduled. Next week you will get to see my junk journal flip through, which is one of my art journals, which is very exciting. And then I have some other videos already scheduled and lined up as well, but I might do some more of these maybe at the end of March, maybe. But let me know if you'd like to see them. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!